Welcome to the Wealth Guide podcast. Today we're thrilled to have Michael Mitry and Ted Naim from Eden Broker Mentoring join us to discuss the pivotal role of broker mentoring in the mortgage broking industry. Michael and Ted bring a wealth of knowledge and experience helping new brokers navigate the complexities of the industry. In this episode, we'll be diving into essential topics like the key qualities to look for in a mentor, the impact of an effective mentorship on a broker's success, and how to overcome common challenges in the mortgage broking space. Whether you're a new broker looking for guidance or someone interested in the broker mentoring landscape, this conversation will shed light on how the right mentor can shape your financial journey. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, thanks Ted. Michael, thank you very much for joining us. First question to kick things off, I was hoping to understand what key qualities should somebody look for in a broker mentor?
I think one of the most important key qualities first is industry accreditation, to have that accreditation with the MFAA, the FBAA. That sort of tells a mentee that their mentor is someone who is compliant and adheres to industry regulation, which is very, very important as a mentor. So a key accreditations.
And also, I not the key, but one of them might be their experience. I know us, Eden, we've been around since the 80s, and we have a lot of practical experience. So I think that something comes into play.
And if anything, what do those, if I'm looking for accreditations with MFAA, FBAA, what sort of mindset would that give me as a mentee? So if I'm looking for a mentor and I say, hey, do you have the relevant accreditations, MFAA, FBAA, what sort of peace of mind will that give me as a mentee that they're up to scratch in terms of their, in terms of the regulation and compliance requirements, or they're up to date with the latest changes?
Being endorsed by the MFAA is one of the most, important parts of what we do is the fact that we can pride ourselves on being endorsed by the MFAA because it says to the mentee that, hey, you are dealing with a knowledgeable, industry compliant individual that has to prove themselves year after year to the MFAA that we are doing the right thing within the industry. And that goes with the FBAA as well, because there's a lot of brokers out there that label themselves as mentors, but they're not accredited. They're not endorsed by the industry bodies that are regulating this. So it's like getting a carpenter to build your home, but they don't have a certificate. It's like you could, a cousin down the road says, I can build a house, so they'll build the house. Yeah, but there's no certificate. So if something goes wrong, what's there to fall back on? And Eden, especially with Ted being endorsed by the MFAA, is a high accolade to have in this industry.
And Ted, was that a massive barrier that you had to go through to get that accreditation?
It was. What we ended up having to do is we had to submit our mentoring program to both MFAA and FBAA. They had to review it for compliance. They had to review that it was it met what their requirements were. And it took a while to get it, but we did get it, and I was really proud when it came through. We shared it with, I shared it with all my students through TAFE. It was good. It was good feeling for both of them, MFAA and the FBAA, and to be able to stand there and say, that we are endorsed, that they have been through our program, they're happy with our program. Not a lot of mentors can say that.
No, of course.
It's like a badge of honor. It's like a badge of honor. It's something that you can label on your website as well, just to have that endorsement. And not many mentors can obviously have that.
And I think it's a massive accreditation. I'm like, as far as being then approached by TAFE to be running TAFE courses, that is such a significant achievement. How did that come about, guys? That's fantastic.
It's a nice little story, that one. I was actually teaching financial planning at TAFE and through a number of campuses, and there was a shortfall in the Bankstown, the mortgage brokering course. Someone mentioned my name because I have some experience in it. And we ended up, we now, both Michael and I, we deliver that course. We deliver it to hundreds of students a semester. And it's fun. Pretty good So yeah,
It must be very fulfilling to teach the next generation of mortgage brokers.
teaching mortgage brokers, it is very fulfilling. We've been in the industry a long time. And as I mentioned, I've been doing it since 81. Michael's been doing it, I think, since 2001. It's been a very successful industry for us. We've gotten a lot out of it. And I know it's very cliched, but I love the fact that I can give something back. We're at the tail end of our career. We've achieved our success. We've got new people coming in and be able to share our success and live vicariously through their success. It's the truth. I do love it. I love it for that reason. I hate the admin part of it, but sharing our experiences is just, second to none.
Yeah, I agree with Ted. And I'd also like to add that as teachers, the benefit that we provide our students is the fact that we got real industry experience. So we've been there, we've done that. There are things that we've forgotten that they don't even know about yet. So, and it starts to resonate even further as we're going through the course, that these students realize, wow, we're actually dealing with people, not just teachers per se to teach me the course, but industry experts that give us true life stories about this is what you're going to experience. I think there's a warm, fuzzy feeling about being able to teach someone, this new generation, as you say, this is the sort of experience and this is the sort of level that you'll have to achieve to be successful in this industry. And because it's given us so much, we just want to give it back. There's no point in keeping all our knowledge and forgetting about it. It's sharing it. And that's what knowledge is all about.
And you're so right, Michael. I remember going through the financial planning side of the training myself with my mentor. And I think the key things that we looked for, or I looked for at that time, was deep knowledge. But the biggest thing he ever taught me was you can very easily get into the wrong habits and doing things the wrong way. And the key thing that is sort of constantly endorsed on us was ethics and integrity. And there you are there to look after people.
Absolutely.
And provide them that journey. And what are some of the pitfalls that you'll come across. So it's very, very important as part of what role you guys do with the knowledge that you guys have. And then to share that with some of the generations coming up. That's fantastic.
There'd be a lot of scenario-specific outcomes that you'd be able to leverage as well, because as you said, between the two of you, there's more than 60 years worth of experience that you'd be able to share with your students. And selecting an accredited mentor over a non-accredited mentor is like the difference between getting my cousin to do an oil change on my car versus taking it to an accredited mechanic sort of thing.
It's cheaper.
What's the sort of impact on a mortgage broker? You know, their car's not going to fall apart halfway down the road, but like, what's the impact on a mortgage broker who has those two choices and ultimately goes for the accredited one?
Well, the accredited mentor is someone that is taking a risk with you, right? We're not just sort of looking at an application. We're actually taking a risk with you in submitting that application. And we are putting our name and our licenses on the line. So we're not going to do anything that is going to compromise ourselves, in particular our mentees, when it comes to loan writing. Whereas if I'm just a mortgage broker that's not endorsed, well, okay, that looks fine, send it through. And most of these brokers are in competition. Remember, they're still working in industry. So how much time have they really got to look after a mentee when they're looking after their own businesses? Where Ted and myself, we've done that. We've been there. We've built successful businesses. We've sold successful businesses. And now we're just focused on bringing in the new generation of success. We're not competing with anybody.
And you've by taking that accountability to ensure that their client file is,
absolutely
compliant, you've got some skin in the game as well.
Absolutely. There's a license on the line, and you lose that license, who's going to look at you? So there's no point in teaching a mentee the shortcuts.
There is another benefit as well of dealing with an accredited mentor. And as I mentioned, MFAA and FBAA both been through our program. And if the broker is not happy with the mentor, because the program has been approved by FBAA or MFAA, they can move to another approved FBAA or MFAA mentor and just keep going without having to go through the whole learning process all over again. So there is that benefit there.
Okay. Well, that's good. There's some continuation if they, for whatever reason, they need to change.
Now, it hasn't happened. But I just want to add that is one of the benefits as well.
What about some of the common misconceptions that you find out there in the network around having a mentor?
What I feel is a misconception when we do get a new mentee on board is they want things to happen yesterday. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It is a journey. It is a 24-month journey. That's why it's a 2-year program. So if you're expecting results yesterday, well, then it's not going to happen. So the misconception is it's a journey that we will take you on and we will educate you, and we guarantee you that if you do the hard yards and the work, you will be successful, because this industry really gives back as much as you put in, right? So, and the other misconception, I don't know that, your seasoned brokers, let's say the ones that have been in industry for a year or two, they might go, no, that's not true. But hang on, they too can sometimes require a mentor, not as per se someone to teach them how to write a loan, but a business coach, someone that's been there and done that. Why am I struggling to build a portfolio? Well, have you considered these strategies? So there is a misconception that I don't need a mentor because I've been writing a loan for 2 years. Well, maybe you might need a mentor to take your business to the next level. So it is a consideration.
And there are plenty of business coaches out there, but they're just general business coaches in general. What's missing is that industry specific experience.
Absolutely. You're so correct, Gianni. That is industry specific one. Like, what level of knowledge have we been given to get our businesses to the next level that we can pass on to you? So, what are you doing right and what are you doing wrong? Let's sit down and think about that. I don't need to teach you how to write a loan. You should be able to know how to write a loan. But how many loans do you need to write to get your business to the next level? Maybe you're doing it wrong. Maybe you're taking the long cut.
You're spot on there, Michael. Look, obviously we do a bit of work with some of the aggregators on board at the moment. I think the key thing that we look at from an upcoming broker is we start to look at they're part of their own financial planning journey, because you're starting out as a business owner. What do you need to keep an eye out? You need to have a look at your cash flow. You need to have a look at what are the other ancillary services that you can provide as an upcoming mortgage broker, because there's not only the value add that you can provide to the customers, but also is there any revenue that you're leaving on the table that you can provide that to the customer, or essentially support to the customer, because the customer will need those services no matter where you go, but they'll need super, tax planning, the structures, they should be structuring their home loan. So all these other facets of benefits, if you can provide that to a customer, being a one-stop shop, not only providing the value and a customer experience, but also how does this other added benefit revenue add to your business?
Correct.
Which is quite significant for the broker,
absolutely.
especially for an upcoming broker.
And that's what we find a lot with our mortgage broker partnerships, because we sort of find that they go through the financial planning process themselves. And after going through that, they become massive advocates for that partnership as well, because they understand the value that it provides to their clients. And ideally they go on and, they endorse that sort of relationship as well. But going back to that industry specific experience, I understand that, 80% of loans are going to be roughly the same. And then every now and then you might need a little bit of a lesson on, okay, what do I do in this scenario? Yeah. But going back to that industry specific experience about how to build your network, how to have stakeholders, what stakeholders you're going to work with more regularly. What are some of the items that mortgage brokers or mentees rather don't really consider, and then they have to sort of, become aware of those?
Our mentees, and some of the questions that we sort of get given by our mentees is, Michael, how do I find my clients? What do I look for? Well, my answer to them is simple. Find out what environment you're currently working in. Where are we at? What sort of environment is the industry at? If we go back 18 months, it was an environment of fear, rates going up, people on fixed rates coming out into variables, debt consolidation. Why are the 5% of brokers in our industry consistently reaching numbers that the other 95% struggle to write? Because they know where they're at. They know the target market. And that is how you build a business. Yeah. So let me chase the people looking to debt consolidate. That's what we're looking for. Let me chase people that are coming off fixed rate. There is so much statistics that you could actually Google and you will find that information. And when Westpac was talking about the mortgage cliff, right? There was a great chart about that. And as a smart broker, you would have seen the chart and realized that first quarter 2025, there's still roughly 25% of fixed rates about to expire. And these are on 3 and 2%, and they're going to end up at 6%. Let's target them. Let's put a marketing campaign out there. And that's just me Googling for information. Where is the industry at? Speaking to financial advisors like yourselves. What sort of clients are you seeing? What is the concern in your industry? Let's talk to the real estate agents. What are you guys seeing? Are first home buyers in the market? I don't think so. Not with rates going up. Yes, there's a lot of people looking to refinance, downsize maybe, mortgagee for sale.
Of course.
So do I target my investors? Hey, it is a market for it.
I think that's one of the must-have rules of any business, I think, is find your target or find your customer first.
Absolutely.
And work your way backwards from that. So if anything, a lot of the things that we do in financial planning is we position ourselves as problem solvers.
Yes.
And I think mortgage brokers have to do the same thing
Absolutely.
as well. They have to find their target customer and understand what pain points they're experiencing and how to solve for those. What are some of the ways that maybe mortgage brokers can find their target market? What's the best way to do that, Ted?
It is a good question, Gianni, and he likes to throw a curveball here. But look, the best way to find your target market is read what the industry is telling you. The industry speaks to you all the time, right? It is telling you that there's struggle street out there. The media doesn't hide from it. Speaking to professionals like yourselves, to real estate agents, them tell you what's in the industry. The media tells you what you want to hear, and puts this fear factor in you and says, right, people are struggling, rates are going up. Okay, what is my market? Am I going to chase the first home buyers when rates are going up? No. Why would I waste my time chasing someone that is going, I'm going to sit back and wait here. I want to see what's happening. My target, and I kept telling to our mentees, chase people to consolidate debt. When the industry is good, and money's being thrown at you, people get the lavish cars, they do the renovations, they go on their holidays, they max out another credit card. Things are good. But when things get tough, how are we going to manage all this? Well, be the solution-based mortgage broker as you guys would be the solution-based financial planner.
Absolutely.
Let's consolidate your debt. I'll bring your debt down to a point where I can save you thousands of dollars a month, and then put it back into your home loan, reduce your repayments. So like yourselves, I like to teach our mentees, and I'm sure Ted's exactly the same, let's be solution-based mortgage brokers, right? There's too many standard mortgage brokers out there. They all do the same thing, mums and dads and first-home buyers. But I like to portray myself as a financial solution-based broker.
I love that.
I will fix your problem. You have a problem, I'll solve it.
Yeah. And if you can't, you know somebody who will. And that's all.
If it's a specialized decision that needs, an accreditation that I don't have, well, I'll refer it to our specialized financial planners or our wealth managers. But we like to see ourselves as solution-based.
I love the fact that you're able to coach them on that, to pivot along with the market strategies as to what's happening. And I think that's a key learning.
Absolutely.
Not many people sort of teach that kind of skill set. And to be able to then utilize that to your advantage and to seek opportunities out of that, I think that's fantastic, Michael.
We're building a business for the long term. It's not a 5-minute thing. It's like I want sticky clients. And how do sticky clients stay is when they realize that they don't need to go anywhere else.
No.
You have all the facilities, all the knowledge, all the avenues to offer them what they require. And clients, and I stand by this, clients don't care how much you know knowledge, because they expect you to know, because that's why you get your diplomas, you get your Cert 4s.
Of course.
But what they want to know is, how much do you care about me? How much are you going to look after me?
Yeah.
That's what they're looking for. And if you can sell your business model on the basis that, I am knowledgeable, but that's just standard. There's my diplomas, there's my qualifications, but I'm going to look after you. I will help you sleep at night, because I'm going to make sure that whatever I recommend, we don't sell, we recommend, because it's your decision if you're going to take it or not. But whatever I recommend, I'm going to make sure that you'll be able to sleep at night for the long term.
And we talk about that a lot, that sleep at night test as well, positioning yourself as a problem solver. I think one of the biggest things is around, solving problems for your target clients, but also solving problems for your partner's clients as well. So whether you partner with a financial planner, accountant, legal representative, you actively understanding, how can I help your clients? And then once you build a team around the client by recommending those individuals as well, then they become, as you said, sticky. Like you get that uplifted level of client experience. I know that we do that as well when we're in financial planning, when we're partnering with a mortgage broker. We look to understand our partners' clients' needs and wants, right?
Yeah. I think that's a big part of what we do, Gianni. I mean, so some of the brokers that we work with, I think what we sort of try to do is create a massive advocacy piece within their businesses. So essentially when we're working with a mortgage broker, and I'll give you a specific example, one of the mortgage broker clients had recently sold their property and they had a massive CGT problem where they sort of were looking at down the barrel of paying about $190,000 as capital gain tax. Yeah. Now, we looked at some of the contribution strategies within the superannuation, and all of a sudden going from paying $190,000 CGT down to 15 grand each.
Yeah.
That was significant savings for them.
Wow.
Now, what that created was this advocacy piece within their friends in the community to go, hey, my mortgage broker was able to provide me this offering. I think you guys should speak to him. It's not only just about saving capital gain tax, but they were also about to help me going, how do I save taxes every year? Yeah. I can buy another property out of this. And for them, it was just such an enhancing moment for them to go, well, my mortgage broker can do all of this. Yeah. And it was a massive difference when they compared from the previous broker to go, the broker that I've got now.
Absolutely.
Chalk and cheese.
Absolutely. And that's the important thing. It's your connections. It's, how much you really want to look after your clients. And I always tell our students and our mentees, guys, in the early stages of your career, your phone, you need to keep calling. You are chasing people. When you realize that success is starting to happen is when your phone starts ringing and people saying, hi, is this Michael? Then you know you're doing something right because you can chase every real estate agent you want. At the end of the day, the real benefit is your internal clients. They become your biggest advocates. Absolutely. And if your internal clients talk highly about you and they talk freely about you, Google won't match that because Google's going to charge you $200 for a click on home loan. Your client is going to tell 6 different people at a barbecue, this is what my broker's done for us.
Yeah. And you get that from building that relationship with that client.
Yeah, absolutely. But every broker needs a financial planner. You have to align with a financial planner and an accountant. Real estate agents, they probably jump around depending on who's going to give them the most commission. But it's not a commission-based referral for us. No. I think it's a service value. What can I add to your business? And you can add to my business. And that's where financial planning and accountancy, really, it's a marriage made in this profession. It should be.
And they're the benefits that we talk about, sort of hard and soft dollar benefits. Where the soft benefits are, how many clients have you helped achieve their goals? Because then, I bought an investment property. They're going to go out and tell 10 people. And then those clients are going to come to you. And then they're going to go out and tell 10 people. So that's more of a soft benefit as well. And that's some of the qualities that really you should look for in a mortgage broker as well. Or how many dreams have you made come true? Or how have they helped me achieve my goals? Much in the same way as we do in financial planning. Today's episode of the Wealth Guide podcast is proudly sponsored by Ryker Capital. In a world full of financial uncertainties, Ryker Capital understand the importance of safeguarding your lifestyle and the well-being of your loved ones. That's why we're committed to providing you with personally tailored insurance plans and financial advice that aligns with your unique needs and goals. Ryker Capital is your guide in the complex world of superannuation and retirement planning. Our team of experts are dedicated to helping you navigate these complexities with ease and confidence. We're here to empower you with the knowledge and strategies you need to build wealth and secure your future. At Ryker Capital, we offer a comprehensive range of services designed to optimize your superannuation. We work closely with you to determine the best contribution strategy, regularly review your superannuation fund, set achievable financial goals. Our coaching and consulting services ensure your financial plan stays on track with regular reviews to adjust to your changing circumstances and aspirations. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Take control today with Ryker Capital. Contact us for an obligation-free discussion information about your financial plan by calling us on 1300 179 537. Let us help you secure your finances because you deserve it. Ryker Capital, your trusted partner in financial success. We talked a little bit about some of the qualities that a broker mentor might have. And speaking of maybe soft skills, we talked a little bit about the 3 E's, education, experience, exposure. What sort of education, experience and exposure do you find that a mentor should have if I'm looking for one as a mentee?
Well, in terms of education, obviously, you're going to want them to have the minimum qualification, which is a diploma nowadays. I know we're still focused on Certificate 4, but the market's moving towards diploma. So you'd probably want a mentor that has minimum educational qualifications. But if I was going to align myself as a new broker with someone, I'd probably want someone who's got a master's or at that level. But most importantly, you want someone who has experience. Experience counts for a lot more than the qualifications. Qualification gets you through the door. Experience actually helps you open that door and get through it.
The thing that I find is critical when it comes to education is you can read so much from a book. Now, if I'm going to fly a plane, I'm not going to fly it by reading a book. I need someone to teach me. So when it comes to mortgage broking, it's those soft skills. It's like, I know exactly where you're going. I've been there. I can actually tell you what the end of that story is. Let's do it this way, okay? Now, you're qualified. You could be the most intelligent student to come out of TAFE, right? You got your Cert 4, you got your diploma, and then you step out and you think, I need to step out of my comfort zone. How am I going to do that? I expected people to come to me because I smell nice or I've got a flashy office. But no, it's not going to happen.
And that's where the mentor will come in and they're going to guide them to take that next step.
They'll essentially guide them to do a lot of those soft skill benefits, like how to build a pipeline, how to network, how to build a team around your client.
And communicate. How do you talk to people? What is your representation? Because they say the first 3 minutes of a conversation with a client is where it signs up with you, or they say, you know what, you're not right for us. And I always tell students, don't expect to get 100% of everything that you're going to chase, because there are people out there that don't want to deal with you.
Correct.
And that's fine. Don't take it personally. But if everyone I saw didn't want to deal with me, then take it personally because something's wrong. You know,
it's also that level of emotional support, because this role can be very silo role. Like you're working in your own little environment, and sometimes it's very hard to sort of keep your head out and go, what's happening in the real world? So providing that level of emotional support, I'm assuming, Michael, is just as equally important.
Absolutely. I mean, when I first started, and Ted probably doesn't because we worked together, but he probably didn't realize this. When I first started, I went to 5 different interviews or 5 different people wanting a home loan. I crashed and burned on all 5. I did not realize what I was doing. And I started to doubt myself. Maybe I'm not right for this. Maybe this is not for me. Until we never had a mentor back then. This is the privileges that the new generation have. All I had was an experienced broker that, you know, gave me 5 minutes of his time. It was Frank Brillo. And I said to Frank, Frank, I have been going to areas that don't even have a postcode yet, that there's no street lights. I'm going to these places, I'm crashing and burning, I'm coming back out, I've got no loan application, yet you go out, you come back and you got 3-4 loans sitting under your armpit. How are you doing it? He says, I pre-qualify. What? I pre-qualify. I will ask him simple questions before I go out, and then I don't waste my time. I know exactly if they're in the market or not. So I started to pre-qualify, and guess what? The success rate changed. It improved. And this is what we teach the new generation. Don't just chase because you want to get a loan. Sometimes they're not even in the market. Pre-qualify. They might not be ready.
And the benefit of being part of a group is that you can bounce ideas off one another, which is what you've experienced. And we're not, in terms of mentoring and bringing this back from that perspective, we have quite a number of mentees, if I can use that term, under our wings that we are mentoring, and they talk amongst one another. They share ideas with one another, and we assist them as they require it. So being part of a group is very important when you are starting out. Most brokers, when they do start out, they start out on their own. They have no one there with them. So when you're feeling like you're part of a group, it adds value to it.
I think one other thing I really like about what you guys do as well is bringing the key industry people and bringing them to the presentation, sharing ideas from their side, because it's completely different for a broker, but to be able to learn from some of the key industry experts to go, well, this is how it works, is very, very important. It just adds another insight to their level of knowledge to go, well, this is what I should be expecting when I sort of head out on the self-employment journey.
And we do that regularly. Every month, we have our normal get-togethers, but every month we have a formal get-together, and we'll actually invite industry participants. We'll invite the MFAA, we'll invite financial planners, we'll invite aggregators to give a presentation about what they do, what the purpose of their role is in the industry. So it works very, very well for them as well. So again, you're not on your own. You're not just thrown into the deep end and you have to try and swim on your own. We are guiding you. We are giving you some additional benefit other than, okay, well, this is how you process a loan.
Yeah, because there are some technical aspects of writing a loan or, this is how you remain compliant, but there's so many soft skills that, this is how you educate people. This is how you have that first conversation. This is how you pre-qualify so you don't waste your time. Time management is a big one. And I think a lot of that in financial planning circles as well is very important, because it's in that initial consultation that we have to demonstrate not only our knowledge, but communicate effectively and understand people as well. Understand, what is your problem and how can I help you achieve that, or how can I help you solve for that problem? How important is that initial consultation or that initial conversation to sort of, we call it the discovery session, where we discover more about that person? How important is the communication in that discovery session, Ray, especially from financial planning aspect?
Look, I think from a financial planning aspect, it really gets to assess the scene when you sort of sit down with the customer, what their real pain points are. You want to really understand what the goals they're striving for. What do they want to achieve? Yeah. And what are some of the strategies and the structures you're going to take them through to achieve those goals? Again, the misconception around that is they're going to get there the next day. And I think we sort of talk about that going, well, that is not what's going to happen. And it's exactly the same thing with the brokers. We sort of guide them through the path using a variety of different tax strategies, structures, whether it be building wealth through properties and utilizing brokers and utilizing a variety of the different strategies that you can provide them to sort of help and grow out that wealth. So I think understanding that key goals and objectives of the client is absolutely paramount.
Yeah. And I think the exposure that you both provide as mentors as well in mentoring mortgage brokers is they won't have that level of exposure from day one as well. So they won't have, all those, we talked about scenario specific examples. We talked about, some of the case studies. They won't have that from day one. And then as a result, they get access to this group. They get access to all these, network individuals that you have access to, your stakeholders that can come and speak about how to structure an initial consultation, how to have that conversation, how to, position the agenda for a discovery session. And I think, if anything, that's one of the biggest benefits around mentorship as well.
But I think even, and firstly, thank you for having us on one of your sessions. I think the key thing that we sort of learned from the brokers was they wanted to learn and understand about their own structures first. They wanted to go, well, I'm just about to go help out people, which some of them are going to be self-employed. Well, I am that self-employed person. Yeah. Yes. And if I can put myself in their shoes and how I can help them, that's the biggest rapport building exercise I can ever do.
Absolutely.
And when we sort of started talking about the exercise of going, how should you structure your business? Should you have it under family trust? Should you have it individually? What does that look like for you? What does the scaling look like for you? So when you're about to scale your business, and some of the tax strategies that you should think about. And they can then sort of mirror that same exercise with their customer, which will add a significant amount of value.
And that's what we found. We found a lot of mortgage brokers the other night saying, well, how do I structure myself? And I think, if anything, that is really rewarding in the financial planning sense, because you think, well, if you've gone through the process, then you're going to be an advocate for financial planning as well. And I really think that, if anything, that's going to benefit the mortgage broker and their clients. What do you feel are some of the biggest challenges that mortgage brokers face, particularly this day and age? I feel one of the biggest statistics out there is that more than 70% of mortgages are done through a mortgage broker. And that having that level of exposure in the mortgage broking industry, it would come with its pitfalls and challenges. What are they, and how do you think that you can help out there?
Ultimately, everyone that enters the industry wants to be busy, right? And the biggest issue that we find is time management. People saying, I don't have much time to do this. Well, to me, that's all, you know what? Because if you structure your time correctly, you will find that you've got downtime or quality downtime to really focus on where you're going. What are you doing right? What are you doing wrong? So we teach them how to time manage, right? Your diary, which is as simple as an Outlook calendar, for me, is probably one of the best way to diarize your day.
Yeah.
Okay. And that I've still got things in my diary where it will spring up and it'll tell me it's such and such's birthday that I put 20 years ago.
Wow.
And that client still says to me, Michael, I can't believe you're the only one that still remembers my birthday. My kids don't even remember when I was born. Yeah. Well, I care about you, John. What can I say? Yeah. So it is time management. And once you understand what time management and how to structure it correctly, you will find so much free time to really focus on areas where you need to grow the business, either from a personal level or from a corporate side of things. So that is one of the challenges. The other challenges, and I'm sorry to keep butting in here, you know,
That's okay.
is confidence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? You need confidence. This industry, as you are aware with the financial planning, if you're not confident, how are you going to step out of your comfort zone?
Yeah.
You need to chase people.
And clients don't want to talk to people who don't have the confidence.
That's it. Exactly. If you're going to talk to me and you know more than me, what am I using your services for? So confidence is an important one. Self-doubt. I will teach you how to believe in yourself, because no one is going to do the job for you, right? Unless you employ someone else to do it. And then you're at the risk of, are they doing things compliantly, right? So for me, confidence is number one as well. You need to build that confidence. And once you start to believe in yourself and you feel confident that, yeah, I can do this, and I've got a mentor behind me that is pushing me to be accountable for my goal setting, right? I need to look at something. I need to create a goal. What's the point if there's no goal? What am I reaching? What's my target? Is it a dollar figure? Is it loans? How many loans I write? Or is it a new broker that, you know, is saying, I want to have a financial planner by 3 months that we're working together. So there's a lot of challenges in this industry, but with the privileges of having a mentor these days, I think those are addressed very quickly. And that's why the level of quality brokers in this industry is increasing. That's why 73%, I think that was the last number.
Yeah.
People are using brokers. Even the banks are whinging about it now. Right? Yeah. And that's a worrisome sign for them. Think, hang on, you know, 73, it could get to 80, could get to 85% that people want to use a broker, because the industry has flipped. It is so much more professional because of people like us and what we do for the new generation.
I think it's fantastic that you sort of raised that standard. But second to that, Michael, the fact, and I've not had that many mentors that have sort of talked about how to back yourself and to be able to teach confidence. I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah, you have to.
The fact that you guys do that, my hat's off to you.
Yeah, you have to, because we've each had individual businesses and we were taught confidence as well. We were taught that, hang on, no one's going to come knocking on your door. They don't even know you exist.
That's right.
You got to step, there's a line in the sand. You've got to cross that. Once you've crossed it and you've tested it, you go, this is not too bad. Now let's create a goal. Now that you're stepped out of your comfort zone, what is it you want to do? Let's map it out. And we usually work on 12 months, right? How many loans do you want to write by 12 months? Give me a realistic figure. Some will go, I want to write 30 million. Hang on. There are people in the industry for 20 years that don't write 30 million. You've just stepped into it. Let's be realistic. Let's aim for 5. That's doable. Today's loan is what, 800,000? Yeah, I could write 5 or 6 of those, surely. We'll push you towards it. Where are you going to find these people? We'll show you where.
We find that a lot as clients when you have that conversation as well, because, you know, a lot of people just walk in, I want to be rich, here's my money, invest it somewhere, sort of thing. And I imagine a lot of people would step into mortgage broking because they see other mortgage brokers become successful as well. But having those realistic conversations and saying, well, no, these are the targets that you should be achieving for, or even just setting targets, setting business metrics as well, and then positioning yourself as an expert. So that was a really good takeaway around how you should position yourself as an expert and be confident confident in front of the client as well, because there's a certain level of respect between client and broker. They're coming to you as the expert, as the industry expert.
Yeah.
So I think, back yourself. You're educated. That you should back yourself in front of the client, especially.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we are a people's person. At the end of the day, our industries is serving people. And if we can't do that properly, we don't have a business.
No.
Let's think about it. There is 20,000 brokers out there. Why should I pick you over the other 19,000? Why? Because my goal aligns with how you're going to look after me.
Yeah.
And if I feel that you're the right person for me, job done.
Yep.
Now let's find the next person. And that's how businesses grow.
That's fantastic. That comprehensive support system will really sort of, allow that broker to be sort of thrive in this kind of competitive market.
And just having that internal client base, really, to have your advocate clients really pushing your drum, like really pushing you out there, you can't beat that.
No.
You're doing something right. When a client praises you, writes a review, happy to tell their friends, families, anyone that's willing to listen, you're doing something right.
Those sort of things are real money can't buy.
You can't. Google only sees you as a dollar figure.
Yeah.
Right? Really, our industry is personal. It's not a dollar. Yes, I'm chasing a loan. But how do I know that that loan is guaranteed? Because when someone rings me and says, hello, is this Michael? Bang. I know that this is a deal. Why? Because someone's referred that client.
Yeah.
It's my job now to convert it.
Yeah.
And that's where experience comes in.
On the financial planning side, we see the same. Like when people invite us to weddings or when we get photos from holidays, I'm on holiday, I'm retired, happy.
You feel good. It's a warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah. It's a massive self-achievement at the same time to go, you made that happen for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gents, last question I have for you is if anybody wants to know more about your mentoring program, how is the best way to get in touch?
www.edenmentoring.com.au. But that's our website. But they can call either Michael or myself. My number is 0412 255 134.
And I'm 0411 71989. Go on the website. You can contact us through there, or you can contact the Michael at edenmentoring.com.au. And we're happy to sort of liaison and get back to you with any queries that you might have. We are approachable. Don't be afraid. We're happy to give away knowledge.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not meant to be kept.
Yes.
Let's share it and let's make this industry much, much better than what it is. And it's possible. It is possible.
Awesome stuff. Very admirable. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
The information provided in this podcast is for general information purposes only and should not be considered as personal advice. Always consult with a qualified professional or expert in the relevant field for personalised advice tailored to your specific situation.
If you enjoy the content we bring you on the Wealth Guide podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe and share with your community. Let's grow this community together and make financial literacy accessible to all.